9:30, which is the time that we had set for August 22nd meeting of the Board of Commissioners. Before we get started, I'd like to introduce a new HR person, Janice Sullivan from Conway. She'll be starting on the 4th of September. Janice, you want to stand up? Go ahead. We have Representative Babson there in the blue shirt, Damon Steele from the Conway Daily Sun. Mr. Rich, who is our IT person for the county.
Thank you.
And Ed, he is our
Videographer.
videographer, yeah. So we welcome you to the Carroll County complex. Debbie, I guess, is going to show you around today, and she is still working, and so she won't be here until the 4th of September to fully start her job. Janet will be, right?
Janice is still working.
Commissioner Kenny will be here at 9:45.
What did you say?
She said Commissioner Kenny will be here at 9:45.
Okay. So, thank you. Yes, Mr. Babson.
Is it appropriate at this time, Mr. Chairman, to ask what this lady's background is?
Sure. She can, go ahead, give you a little background. Yeah.
Originally, I was practicing law in Massachusetts. I started getting into employment law areas, loved it. Moved up to Conway, where I've been for 22 years. Practiced law over in Maine and started working with startup companies, developing their handbooks, policies, and so forth, which led me into a position at Attitash for both the resort and the hotel, doing HR for them, Vice President of Human Resources for American Ski Company. Once American Ski Company split up and all the resorts were sold, the new company, Peak Resorts, brought in their own management team. From there, I went to Lowe's as their HR manager and oversaw the Conway store and at one point both Littleton and Tilton stores as well. And I'm still there, but I'm coming here now.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Very impressive. Thank you.
Anybody else? Damon, you got any questions you want to ask?
I think you covered it.
You what?
I think it's been covered.
Oh, it's been covered. All right, very good. Well, if that's the case, you're free to
Thank you.
travel throughout the county or whatever, meet some other people while you're here.
Thank you.
And thank you for coming in on a Wednesday on your day off
Not a problem.
to visit with us. So,
I look
Debbie,
forward-
take care of her.
Look forward to
Okay.
working with you.
And I'm sorry,
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, I didn't write down her name.
Janice Sullivan.
Yes,
Jan
ICE.
Sullivan, okay.
Janice or
Janice?
Janet?
Janice, CE.
Janice.
ICE. Thank you.
Thank you. Another item before we get into the public comment is Mr. Thompson would like to make a comment regarding some allegations maybe that was made a meeting ago regarding a grievance. So, Mr. Thompson.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. It's my understanding that it's been alleged that I filed a grievance against former Commissioner Albee. Absolutely untrue. I've never filed a grievance here. I've been a member of this agency for 15 years. I'm unsure where this information may have came from, but I'd be very interested to know.
Okay. Who was it that...
It's my understanding
Either-
that Mr. Brown
did-
made the comment.
Oh, Mr. Brown?
That was my understanding,
Okay.
yes, sir.
He's not here today, I guess.
I see that.
But I thank you for coming in and saying that there was not a grievance filed against then Commissioner Albee. So I thank you, Mr. Thompson.
Thank you, sir. Good day.
Good day.
Okay, yeah, on that.
Okay.
Oh, Tim,
What?
it just occurred to me that I got an email from Commissioner Kenny saying that she was going to take the minutes today, and she's not here. Maybe I'd best take some notes, just in case.
Yes, I think it might be a good
I
idea.
was not prepared to do that, but I will see what I can do.
You know, normally on Wednesdays, we start at 8:30, and I don't know why she is not coming in until 9:45. but anyway. Open it up for public. Go ahead, Mr.
I've got a couple of things. One of the time of this meeting, Mr. Chairman, yeah, it's difficult for some of us that spend the whole week planning to get here at 8:30.
Yeah.
To open up your agenda yesterday and find out it's 9:30. And if I don't even usually open them up, I just usually show up at
Yeah.
8:30. And I would hope that you would do everything in your power to, whatever time you set, to run it at that time every week.
Okay, point well taken.
The other thing is, a couple of weeks ago, and I don't see any minutes here, so I can't verify it, I had the wrong budget sheet on the transfer of the $5,000 from,
3,000.
huh?
3,000.
Was it 3? I
Yep.
thought it was 5, but it might have been 3. Probably was 3. And I was embarrassed that I had the wrong sheet. But today I have the sheet for 3/16/212, which is one of the latest ones we've gotten. I'm sure there's another one in between. Can you remember which categories that the money came out of? Because we have a delegation meeting on Monday. I don't believe the subcommittee, that was the purpose of subcommittee, to set these things up and find out. I don't think they were even consulted. I could be wrong. Perhaps they were. I got the impression that from your meeting that.
If you want to give me a few minutes to go downstairs, I think it's right on top of my desk where it came out of.
Okay. Thank you.
Guess I can set the tape, couldn't
How'd your drive go, Dave? Nab you at the border?
I? No, I had to cut through America because I don't have an enhanced driver's license. By the way, Representative Best.
That one?
Hi, David.
Hello.
Here are the minutes, commissioners, that you missed.
Dave's gone downstairs because I asked him which categories $3,000 for the dispatch center came out of.
Okay.
And because I have the proper form.
You got the right budget form?
Well, I got one of them that's at least this year.
Okay.
And
Representative Babson, on this notice that we have of the August 28th subcommittee meeting, is there any agenda, any specific agenda here?
excuse me, Johnny, any
Is-
what?
A specific agenda?
Yes, and I think I put it in my request when I sent it to Laurie, that there's another gentleman coming to talk about the
This is-
phone service in the
Oh,
jail.
it doesn't say that on here, but I thought I would make it, excuse me, I thought I would make an announcement about it. So, phone service, okay.
Okay, it says I request approval for the following one-time transfer from new equipment,
Excuse me, Dave,
4142.097.
new equipment in which? The sheriff's or the
Sheriff.
dispatch?
4142.
4142, okay, new equipment,
Transfer amount of $3,000
yeah.
into radio communication expense 4140.069.
4140?
4140.069.
68. I'm sorry, oh, what?
4140.069.
069, okay. And how much there?
No, it was transferring from new equipment into that
Oh,
$3,000.
Oh, okay. And so, I guess I'm a little confused.
I believe it's
here.
all under communications, right? Under dispatch.
So from new equipment in the dispatch to $3,000, was that being transferred to somewhere else?
Transferred to radio communications expense.
Okay, and that's the 049.
That's the 069.
Oh, 69.
Yep.
Well, I guess my question is, it looks like there was already $5,000 in the budget
For,
for radio and communication expense.
okay, apparently he needed a little bit more because it was to accommodate radio tower enhancement. And I've got the backup for it.
Okay, was that something that was unexpected?
Well, I don't know the answer to that question.
We didn't time the budget until 1st of April, thereabouts. Here we are, 3 months later, 4 months later, you need $3,000 more?
This was recommended by Chief
Byfield.
Field from Wakefield.
Well, again, I would say that I would hope the next time something like this happens, that you do a little more investigation before you make a transfer. Not that there's anything wrong, but there seems to be unanswered questions.
It's a repeater on Long Mountain is what it's for.
Did it break down?
Because of dead spots in southern Wakefield. It was recommended by the chief of police in Wakefield.
And the sheriff didn't know this at the time he was putting his budget in?
Well, there's a lot of dead spots throughout the county. And this just happens to be one that apparently the chief down there requested that it be improved. And for that amount of money, it sounded reasonable.
Okay,
This was in southern Wakefield where there were dead spots.
thank you very much.
You can look at the background if you want. I've got it here.
Oh, I believe that makes sense.
Damon?
How are we coming along with some of the employee grievance investigations in terms of cost? And there's Woodburn and there's Perry.
We are talking with a gentleman at 10 o'clock this morning. We are also, in regards to one investigation, we're talking with our attorney at 11 o'clock regarding the Woodburn investigation.
Okay.
And as I have said earlier, we've had problems trying to get an investigator for Mr. Perry. As you know, we went to the Sheriff's Department, we went to the county attorney, we went to a superintendent of Belknap County House of Corrections. And that was not successful as far as a thorough investigation. Mr. Perry complained because he was not interviewed at all. I then went to the State Prison Department of Investigation. And in the summertime, people are on vacation. The sergeant was on vacation when I was trying to contact. He finally came back, and then his boss, who had to approve it, was on vacation. I finally got a call back from the head of the department at the state prison, and I was told that they do not do any investigations outside of the state prison. So then I went to Coos County because I had heard from the administrator up there that she had contacted a retired state police officer who had done some work for them. I had I left a message with him at his company and at his home. He called me back and said he couldn't do it, didn't give a reason why, but said if I needed help, he'd be glad to help me. I then went to our insurance company and requested some assistance, and he recommended Down East investigation company out of Barrington, New Hampshire. And I called him. I talked with him. He wasn't at his office at the time. He wanted to set up an appointment to come up and talk with us about it. When he did call me back, or when we got back into communications, I guess I ended up calling him back. returning his call. He recommended that a person out of Wakefield be given the opportunity to do the investigation, and that's where we are right today.
And that's who's coming in?
Excuse me?
The person from Wakefield is coming in to talk
Yes.
about this? Okay.
He's coming in non-public session to discuss it. Okay. Mr. Babson?
The other day, I was visiting the selectmen from Effingham, and
Yep.
one of the things I support in my campaign is a rebate for the 3 towns that don't use the dispatch service, or only use a small portion of it. And in the course of the discussion with...
You were campaigning saying that you would support
No,
rebates?
one of my campaign platforms is I do support
A rebate?
a rebate to those 3 towns. And at Effingham, and I said, of course, you're not probably gonna like this because your rates are gonna go up.
And right now,
Sure.
Effingham's rate is the highest in the county.
Well, I was taken back. Their comments were, well, never mind that, or something to that effect. When are they gonna improve the service for Effingham from the dispatch service? And Susan went on for a minute or two about, and the fire chief about the poor performance of the dispatch center and on some call they had. I don't know whether it's an ongoing thing, but they pointed out an example. And they were obviously, whatever it is, they're not pleased with the service they're getting from the dispatch service, and somebody ought to.
Did they mention any dead areas in Effingham?
No.
Okay.
But I think the commissioners might do well to contact one of the selectmen and find out what their complaint is. Because I was surprised. And it was one of the selectmen that made the comments and the fire chief, I believe.
Okay. I want to thank you for passing that information on, because we don't know that unless somebody tells us about it.
I had no idea. Frankly, I'm surprised that over the 20 years I've been around this complex, that we don't have enough radios to cover Carroll County plus the rest of the world. And every week, every year, it seems like another $10,000 for this radio or that radio. So I was very surprised that they weren't pleased with the service.
It's interesting.
Well, that's my opinion, but they
Yeah.
were.
Yeah. It's interesting, Effingham and Sandwich pay the highest county tax rate, $1.10 per thousand, than other towns in the county. And their rate is like $18 a thousand, including school, which is the biggest one, because they're in with Wolfboro, Kingswood region, and they get hit pretty heavy with their school tax.
How can they have the highest in the county if
It's based on.
land
Yeah,
evaluation?
it's based on, that's how, it just, when the DRA makes out the form, that's their determination. But it is, you're right, it is based upon equalized valuation for each town. And the amount of money is based upon the assessment of their properties.
So is it not fair to assume that they're being assessed, their land valuation is being assessed greater than Wolfboro or Tuftonboro or Moultonboro? That doesn't make sense.
It's all based on their evaluation, and the DRA, Department of Revenue Administration, sets the tax rate for each of the towns in the county.
It would mean that their land values are lower.
They've-
If your land value is, if your
Yeah, you're
valuation of
right.
your
You're
town
right.
is lower, then you're paying more. You
Yeah,
still have to
right.
pay the same amount per student or the same amount for whatever services,
Mhm.
so.
Right.
And they just built new schools in Wolfboro, so that
Yep.
peaked, and now it's gonna start coming down, the school tax.
But that doesn't affect the county.
No,
No, I don't know why the county's high, I was just saying generally, but
the county merely goes with whatever the DRA gives us his number.
I got that information downstairs if you'd like to take a look at all the towns in the county,
Well, I
as well
still
as in
have
the
sheet
state.
that you passed out to the delegation here a meeting or two ago.
Yep.
And that's probably right, but it doesn't seem right that Effingham would have the second highest.
Bartlett is,
first highest.
Bartlett is high too, as far as the county tax rate. I think they're, Bartlett,
Wow.
I think they're $1.10.
Wow. Well, thank you. Anyway, I thought you'd like that information.
Other items, yes, Melissa?
The secretary that takes the minutes, is she just on vacation?
She's on vacation
Okay,
this
good.
week.
I wanted to come again and ask about the September 14th and the 21st non-public meeting minutes. I had filed a request back in July, and according to the Right to Know law, you have 5 business days to fill that request or respond in writing why you can't, and I haven't received anything in.
And you brought it up, was it last week or 2 weeks ago?
2 weeks ago. Yeah.
And
It's
we
been almost a month, so.
Well, I have asked our clerk for those, and it's for several, among which are those two, was for several of the minutes, so that we could go over them that have never been approved at an open meeting. And I am still awaiting that.
I caught something on the tape of last week's meeting that I found interesting. It was like, on one of those dates, there were actually 2 different sets of of minutes for the same meeting, and you would ask why some things you said were taken out.
Yes,
Perhaps a lot was taken out, and can you help me understand that?
not until we see the minutes.
He was talking about non-public minutes, and he shouldn't even be talking about it.
I don't
Well,
think he specifically said anything, he was just.
I didn't say
generally
anything was in the
speaking.
minutes.
No.
Yeah,
He
and
did
to
not-
answer your question, there are no contracts in September 14 and September 21st, and you talk specifically about non-public minutes, and it has been leaked. There should be an investigation coming first, who leaked all the information and what is going on.
The only people that are bound to keep things non-public are the elected officials in those meetings. Anybody else that's in
But you
those
s-
meetings can speak about them outside of it.
Yes, but you said a commissioner leaked it out. That is what you said.
No, I didn't.
2 weeks ago, you
No,
No, I
said.
didn't.
No, she did not say anything like that at all.
You said the commissioners leaked that out.
Mm-mm. I don't remember
Not at
doing
all.
that.
And it is sealed, it's non-public information, and we didn't release it. It is a reason that we went non-public. And there are no contracts in, but you want our conversation. That is what you said,
The
because you know specifically
the
what we
reason why
talked
you
about.
went, the reason why you went into non-public, the first session was, I believe, jail security, employee discipline, and contracts. The second one, it was something else to do with personnel and contracts. But I believe contracts weren't actually discussed. There were other conversations in non-public that shouldn't even have occurred in non-public session, and that's what I'm looking for.
Well, there was nothing discussed about contracts. I don't know why they even put contracts in.
Do
They
you
did
have-
it a couple times.
Do you have a copy of each
Yeah.
of those?
Yeah, I have, I'm looking for the 14, what I put ready. And I have a couple what we requested.
If I could,
Go ahead.
Mr. Chairman, the reluctance to release those minutes kind of gives the impression that perhaps there's something hiding in those minutes, that either one of the commissioners or all of the commissioners are reluctant to release because it may affect their reputation. So can I just ask you some direct questions? On September 14th, did the commissioners meet in a non-public session and discuss a concern about a computer firm wanting to take over computer services in the county attorney's office?
I don't have, do you have the September 14th, non-public? I'll get it. Ask that question again.
On September 14th, did the
Yep.
commissioners meet in a non-public session
Yep.
and discuss the Human Resources Director's concerns about a computer firm wanting to take over computer services in the county attorney's office?
What computer service are you talking about?
There was one contract that was talked about in that September 14th meeting. And it dealt with the landscaping contract. The other was personnel. And on September 14th, there were 2 meetings. One was regarding legal counsel. We adjourned that particular meeting and sealed the minutes. And then we opened it up again at 8:46 a.m. for the purpose of security at the jail and contract.
We open it again at 10:33.
10:33, right. One was security of the jail and the other was a contract. So, on September 21st, for personal discipline and contracts, there's one item in there that I see right off the bat that probably should not have been in there, and that was inspection of the jail. We do that on a quarterly basis.
6 months, every 6 months,
Well,
not quarterly.
okay. Commissioner Kenny motion to seal and go out of non-public. So they were on September 21st, they were sealed and to go out of non-public. So in
Okay.
both cases, both September 14th and September 21st, motions were made to seal the non-public minutes.
So then there was a question if it was approved. I have the 21st here and the 14th from 2011. Because I think Commissioner Solomon had a question. Didn't you had a question for
Yes.
14 and it went, if it was approved? And I think you had a couple more. You had a second too, November.
No, approved, by approved, I mean that we took it before at an open meeting and approved it at an open meeting. Just because it says approved up here does not mean that.
But we approve everything in public session.
No, that's what I'm pointing out. We have not approved everything in public session. That's exactly what I mean.
They were sealed.
I thought
but-
that we did
They were
that.
sealed but not
Well, you may have
approved.
thought that, but it's not so. I checked the
But
minutes.
the seal, we approve it and the
No.
sign.
No,
Then I have to check that out. I thought, like you said, we didn't sign it and we didn't approve it.
we have not approved those minutes,
It was sealed.
these minutes, May 4th, June 29th, September 7th, September 14th, September 21st, October 12th, October 19th, November 2nd, November 16th, November 29th, December 7th, and December 21st have never been at an open meeting approved.
I have to check on that. I thought that you
Well,
said
that's
the
what I
minutes were
have
not
asked you to do
approved.
for the last 3 weeks.
I don't want to throw a monkey wrench in it.
Because I thought it
Doesn't the law
was
say
approved.
that after 3 or 5 days, if they're not sealed and approved, they become public?
They were sealed.
It's not sealed.
They
It
were
become
sealed.
public.
They were
But-
sealed in non-public session.
We normally approve everything and then we do and then we sign it in public. So I find it strange that where did we approve it then? Then, I mean, the commissioners sign off with the whole board. Where did we sign it then?
I think the question is, from Melissa, is that she would like to see the 14th of September and the 21st of September released, and they have been sealed. So it's
Yeah,
up
they have
it's
been
up to
sealed.
three of us whether we want to release
They
any
have-
portion of those minutes.
They have been sealed and, I don't know, you wrote on it, you didn't want to release it. I think maybe we can release, that we paid Jody, a payment is there, and the RSA from the jail. But that was advice from the two commissioners not to release, it's aspersion, and we went into non-public. And it's a legal consultation that shouldn't be in. We cannot have any advice from a county attorney or any attorney or legal consultation. That should never been in. That's been the whole year, last year in.
Yeah.
We cannot have a conversation with Liz Bailey and we said, oh, we want to have that in the minutes. We cannot have a conversation with a county attorney who advised, oh, I want to have that in the minutes.
I think what we will do is, we're meeting with our attorney at 11 o'clock. We'll bring those 2 minutes up to her to see what her recommendation would be.
According to what I'm looking at here on the minutes of the 21st, it says that Commissioner Sorensen, Commissioner Solomon, and Commissioner Kenny were in attendance.
Yeah.
And yet, on the signatures here, it says either one of us, my name is not here. I never
No,
signed
because
it.
you were on vacation, so I put absent. If somebody's not there, I put absent. And I know that we did it in public. We approve it in a public meeting. You were on vacation. Check it out, you were on vacation. I brought it, everything what I bring in, we approve in public session, and we sign in public session. That is what we always do, so I don't
Yes.
know, suddenly you find that 6 sets are
Okay.
not done.
What I would
I have to
suggest
check.
then is that
I have,
you have to go back and look
Yeah,
at
look.
the public meeting minutes to make sure that they were approved, that the non-public minutes were approved, okay?
I will go back and look at that.
And either have Laurie downstairs, or she can't look at the non-public. She has all of the public minutes, so she should be able to help you find the public minutes whereby the non-public minutes were approved,
Yeah.
okay?
Point of order.
Can I follow up? Oh, go ahead.
Is there any reason not to just simply approve them now, as opposed to trying to look back through, 52 meetings and see if there was a reference to those being approved?
We can approve them always if it's not approved, but I'm still going to look back and see if it already was approved. We don't have to prove it twice.
Right, but it seems like. it would
She's the
be-
clerk.
Oh, okay. It just seems like it'd be more time consuming to
I know.
look back at history and hope that there's some reference to it, rather than just simply looking at them and approving them right now, or
Mhm.
not approving them.
If the public minutes are correct and accurate, then it should be just a matter of looking at those to see
And
if the
actually,
non-public was approved. Can I
Yeah.
follow up
Go
on
ahead.
my earlier?
Go ahead.
So you just gave sort of an outline of what was contained in those two sets of non-public minutes.
Yep.
Is it your belief that those are complete and accurate based on what happened in those meetings? Or is there information missing, which you alluded to last week?
In the minutes that, on both the 14th and the 17th, I think they're accurate. What's in them?
Okay. I have information about some things that might have occurred during those sessions, and I didn't hear that in your outline. So I'd like to ask direct questions to try to hopefully you can recall from your memories whether or not this situation actually took place.
Well, we can't get into any detail on what actually was discussed. I said contracts, personnel, county attorney privilege, council privilege. Other than that, I don't think we can talk about anything else that was in those.
Okay.
You can ask the question.
I can ask generally not about the minutes, but just about the goings-on at the county then. I have reason to believe that the county is under, well, it's true that the county was under a contract with the computer firm Cybertron,
Right.
and that another computer firm went to the county attorney about their new countywide software, or they wanted to do some business in the county attorney's office.
Statewide computer service that he had received a grant for.
Okay, and they wanted to work with the county attorney. Just in that department, they were, I guess, touted as, or they claimed to be the preferred provider by the state for that software. So they went to the county attorney and they asked if they could do that work with him. That information came to a meeting of the commissioners, that there were concerns about having two computer companies on the campus, or would it compromise security, et cetera. And then I believe Commissioner Kenny went to Attorney Dewhurst and told him about the happenings in the non-public session. And the following week, she was admonished by the commissioners for taking non-public information out of this room.
I can't comment on that.
Last week, Dave Babson, Representative Babson, used the term festering, and I thought it was a pertinent term to what some of the things that have been going on in the last year, including the approval of minutes, or the fact that I asked for these non-public minutes a month ago, and I should have had something in writing from the clerk within 5 days, and it's been a month. The things that are festering, wouldn't it be better to just clear them and move on? I don't believe that information, the questions that I just asked belonged in non-public anyway, and I would like to see that information released. And do I need to put in another request, or will my original request be dealt with timely?
I would suggest that you give us a detailed request.
Okay.
I just only
You-
want to say, if there are criminal activities going on, then I have to report it to the county attorney.
And I just have to respond that under RSA 42(1)(a), it's considered a breach of confidentiality and a manner of dismissal for an elected public official to take non-public information outside a non-public session. It violates their oath of office, and they can be removed by the Superior Court.
No, it's the 21st.
You don't know
My
what I
comments
talk
are in
about,
there.
what was going on in that meeting. You were not there.
I think I have enough information,
Oh, that's
at
good.
least in part,
Ah.
for someone to tell me whether or not it actually happened.
Let's see.
And also, I was curious about the process. Does the new Does the newest commissioner always become the clerk, or is it a vote of the board to decide who gets the 3
The
seats?
vote of the
Or how
board.
did that happen?
It's a vote of the board.
It seems that you've had some difficulty with the processing of the meeting minutes. Is that something that, can the board change their mind, and, or are you happy with the positions as they are
The
now?
board could change their mind, but, you know, when you run for office as a county commissioner, you should have the background information as to what's the job of a commissioner, whether it's president, vice president, or clerk,
Chair, vice chair, or clerk. Chair.
vice chair. I'm
I
sorry.
understand.
I get you.
Got it?
Yep. Okay.
Thank you.
Go ahead, Mr. Babson.
Kind of an interesting conversation. The 91A includes contracts, but how do you go from somebody wanting to do business with the county to what somebody proposes they're gonna charge? That's truly the contract. It isn't a contract to come in and say, I'd like to do business with Carroll County. Why is that non-public?
Contract shouldn't be non-public.
I'm not sure I understand what you're saying.
Well, if Melissa is accurate, she said somebody came in here from, and you confirmed it, somebody came in here and because they're doing business with other counties, wanted to get the state grant or whatever it was for the county attorney.
Right.
Why is that non-public? That's not discussing a contract. The contract would be as if he got it, and this is how much I'm gonna charge and how often I'm gonna work.
Well, it's a contract because we don't want to have a discrepancy between the contract of the person, Mr. Rich, who is our IT person. We don't want to have a conflict between another computer outfit coming in and doing something to our system that already is there.
Well, I can understand that.
That's why it went into
But that's not
non-public.
non-public, that's not a contract. You don't say in Mr. Rich's contract, no, but whoever this other guy is can't come in and quote the job, or somebody else can't come in and quote it. You're not discussing a contract, you're discussing the county policy, and I don't see where that's non-public.
Well, it happened to be non-public. We disagree on that one. No. Mr. Rich, you got something?
Well, actually, last week, Commissioner Kenny, you indicated you might have some questions for me for this week. So I'm here in case you have any questions.
I'm still doing research on the $53,000 that you give to me.
Okay.
Because there's a lot of items, see how much that is, and I didn't hear back from the people. I did talk with a couple IT companies about the hookup fee, because you said you need to have experience, you need to have negotiations done in IT, and you don't, because I don't have to report to you also. I talked to different IT companies, and they say it is not standard that they charge a hookup fee.
That may be well with
Yeah,
those particular
it
companies.
is not standard.
In my company and other companies that I do business with, it is a common occurrence. And
Yeah.
again, as I stated in the previous meeting, I think we'll just have to agree to disagree on that.
And they also brought forward, they say if it is a hookup, you hook up like laptops, 5 new laptops. He said it is just a transfer. He said, and normally, if, for example, a county attorney purchased 5 new laptops, he said where he purchased from, it comes with a hookup. They come free to hook it up. Or the county
That
attorney,
would be absolutely incorrect.
or the county attorney can hook it up himself.
The county
But
attorney or...
it is
Let her
usually,
finish, okay?
it's usually coming free. He also said where he is the IT person for that company, they just bought 8 new laptops. They didn't buy it by him, to a different company. The company said they come to hook it up for free because everything is included, but the IT guy went and hooked it up for free. He said, no, I do hook it up for free. He said there shouldn't be any charge or hookup fee if he's buying it somewhere else. So I think the county attorneys do overcharge. He shouldn't be paying a penny. And he was trying to save the county money, and what he did, he saved the county a couple $1,000s. And they were shocked by just a hookup fee of $300. They say, all you do is plug it in and there's a transfer.
Okay, your turn, go
That's
ahead.
actually not true. It's not anywhere near as simple as that. The county attorney and his staff do not have the ability to attach a notebook computer to this network. That takes somebody with some IT experience. So no, he could not have done all the work himself. As far as purchasing any PC and having it installed by the purchasing company, there are some companies like Dell and HP where you can purchase that service as an add-on fee. In this case, the county attorney did not purchase any of those add-on services. In fact, the companies that he purchased the equipment from were deep discount companies, and they simply ship it to you and you're on your own after that. Let me remind you that not only did the county attorney purchase them from a deep discount company, but I personally was the one who found the company that we purchased it from, which saved the county almost $100 per laptop over and above what the county attorney was going to purchase them from. So I found a further discount. As far as the fees being as part of the contract, that's whatever we negotiate in the contract. It was negotiated in that contract. This year, because we had twice the contract, I felt comfortable including that, and that's what we've done. And not only was it the process of hooking up those 5 laptops, but most of the computers that were replaced were then taken out, reformatted, reinstalled back into the county, either in the county attorney's office or elsewhere. So there was a whole lot more work involved with those existing PCs to get redeployed. That was all included in that hookup fee. Again, I stand by what we charged. I think it was fair and reasonable. The county attorney knew what those fees were going into the process. There was no surprise on the county attorney's part. It was clear and upfront from day one.
Well, I disagree with that. And you're doing the maintenance here, and you said you have to do all this work, installation, and get it back and format it. But that is what you're doing here.
That is what I'm doing.
Yeah, I know.
That's part
No.
of this year's contract. You are correct. That is what I'm doing here.
Okay, this has been going on now for probably 6 or 8 weeks, back and forth between you two. Mr. Rich has shown documentation as to the questions that you have raised, but I haven't seen any documentation from your side. All you're repeating is what the companies have told you. I think we need some documentation to finally settle the issue and get through with it and move on.
And what he charged, a couple $1,000, I already bring that out, the hookup fee. He has that documentation.
And that was in regards to you saying that there were thousands and thousands of dollars spent.
Yeah.
I
well,
think he's answered that question. I think he's asked you some questions, and you're still doing research, so I hope you do your
that
research.
was from the $53,000. Yeah, it takes a little bit more time.
Okay.
And I have also another question. I've never been able to go at the commissioner's email, so I don't know what is therein. Yesterday, I make a trip to the county to read and see if there were questions so I can answer it. I tried many times. I also called you a couple times.
Correct.
Is maybe the password changed? What is going on? You gave me a couple times a password, and every time it said you're locked out. So I don't know if people sent emails.
The password has not changed since I gave you the original password in the sealed envelope that I left for you. I'd be more than happy to get together with you after this meeting and go through it with you personally and see that you do get in.
Okay.
Do you have
What is
copies
this?
of all those bills from
I
Cybertron?
think I get one on my desk. Yeah, I think I get this on my desk.
I've had that for 3 weeks, or 2 weeks.
And I'm looking at it, yeah, I'm looking at this. I get some feedback on this. I didn't get it yet.
Okay. All right, let's move on. Ed?
It's a very serious question, so I would like a very serious answer. Do you feel as commissioners that you are above the law?
Was
I do.
You think you're above the law?
Not above the law, no. I follow the law. I took the oath of office when I was sworn in, and that's what I follow.
Now, the 91A law was passed by the legislature, correct?
Yep.
The people demanded that if they put in and want information from any government entity, they're supposed to get a response back in 5 days.
Mhm.
But there seems to be a flippant attitude here about this 91A. And I never hear a solution to this. There's information that's being not given to the public over a month.
The same information was asked. I already wrote back that the minutes were sealed. She's asking over and over again for the same information. I can give over and over again the same answer.
My last response for those 2 sets of minutes has never been responded to.
You asked for the whole month of September and I
That-
respond to you.
That was a separate, that
You
included
asked for
several
it.
sets of minutes, and this one was a recent one at the end of July, and I have not received a response in writing.
But I told you at a meeting that those minutes were sealed when you were here.
I understand, it's supposed to be in
And
writing.
I told you
If can't
today it
comply,
is sealed again.
it's
But
supposed
the
to-
other,
Okay.
you came also and you make it in public. You said, you talk about it in public, what you requested.
Ed, you got the floor, go ahead.
The point still stands. Why isn't the public getting a response within 5 business days? All you need to do is give somebody a response in writing of why you're not responding. You can't disobey the law. Technically, I should call for a citizen's arrest, and the sheriff should come in and arrest you because you're breaking the law. So then you must feel you're above it if you can continue to break it. Now, the people are supposed to restrain the government and stop you from doing it. So technically, you're breaking the law. How do you respond to that? My charge that you're breaking the law.
The clerk should have responded to...
I don't think I break any law. I already responded to her. She asked for the sets of minutes and I told her they were sealed.
They
I
are,
told
they
her the
have been
last time
sealed.
and I told her today again, it is sealed. She's been asking for it for a long time since last year and I've been answering her in writing too when she wants the whole year first. We were busy looking at everything. We almost released the whole year of minutes, what she wanted. Then she came back, she wanted only September. I told her they were sealed. She keep on coming back, now she wants specific to others. She got her answer.
The law says you have to respond in writing. I have nothing in writing from my last request for records.
Mhm.
The public deserves a paper trail.
But you also asked for it in public that time when you had. You came one time, you asked in public, you didn't even put it in writing. When you were at a meeting here, when you precisely described what was in the non-public sets of minutes, what you were looking for.
I had sent it in writing to the county commissioner's email address, but no one had it at the head table at that meeting. So then I spoke about what was contained in that letter. I expected that when someone found the letter, they would respond to it in writing, and that hasn't happened.
Okay.
I will check the email. I don't know, there is a setup of commissioner email where I never can get in.
Look, the three of us will review the 14th and the 21st of September to see what portions of those minutes we can release. Okay?
Does that help?
No, you're still breaking the law. I still haven't heard an answer of what's going to be done with the 3 commissioners because they broke the law. I don't understand the flippant attitude of responding to the 91 hearing. This is actually throughout New Hampshire. The government does not respond, so therefore government feels it's above the law.
Okay, your point's well taken.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else for Damon?
So, no, we understand that the minutes have been sealed but not approved. You know, they're almost a year old. Sometimes we don't know where the minutes are, sometimes, you know, they're still being worked on. I mean, I just don't understand why it's taken a year to approve them, but we don't know if they're approved.
For further know, the minutes are approved and they are sealed and we sign them. How can we sign them if they are not approved? We only sign when we approve the minutes. And I don't know what you mean with, we don't know where the minutes are.
Again.
I don't get that part.
Again, what we will do, we're meeting with our attorney at 11 o'clock. We will talk about those September 14th and September 21st minutes and see what can be released. If they were approved, we know that they were sealed, and we will get advice and recommendation from her and then we will go move forward. Mr. Babson?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Would you ask the attorney when he gets here? It seems to me there's a difference between voting to seal the minutes
And approve.
and approving them. I would think you'd approve the minutes and then vote to seal them. Why would you vote something, vote to seal a draft or something that wasn't correct? It seems to me, and I'm no expert on it in any means, but I would think you'd ask your lawyer, I would think you'd have to approve the minutes before you could seal them.
I tend to disagree. I think they can be sealed even though they're a draft.
Okay? Could you
We'll
find
ask-
out today?
we'll ask
and
the
report
attorney.
back next week?
That-
Yep.
That's what we were told.
I think we need to seal them first because we meet only once a week also in public session. And if we're not sealing them, then we have 72 hours to release them. So it will be always going to the public.
That's partially true. I agree that we could go back into public session after the non-public and approve them at that time on the same day,
Right.
okay? What happens now is we wait till the following week, just like we do with the regular minutes.
We wait till we come in public session and then we approve it.
All right, let's move on. Anybody else got any other public comments?
I just had, I know you wanted to not really talk about the contract, the computer contract anymore, but I just, for my clarification, have the three commissioners sat down together and talked about Commissioner Kenny's concerns regarding IT costs and charges at all, or are these things just brought up in meetings by her?
It's been brought up in public meetings.
Okay. So I'm just
We have
trying,
not sat down and talked about it in non-public.
I'm just trying to figure out if Commissioner Kenny is accusing the computer firm of being in violation of their contract, or she's just not happy with that they got the contract, or she thought they could have got a better deal. I'm trying to figure out,
Well,
I'm trying to figure out why Mr. Rich is coming back week after week trying to answer questions when he's already got the contract. He appears to be following it, unless I'm wrong. I mean, do the commissioners have doubts that he's following the contract?
I personally am very satisfied with Mr. Rich's contract called Cybertron. He's done the work. He was here previously before the contract was signed. He did a lot of work with the House of Corrections. I'm perfectly happy with the job that he's doing.
If you
He signed a
weren't,
3-year contract, and as far as I'm concerned, that 3-year contract is good. Unless the majority of the Board of Commissioners decide that he's not doing the work, and then there's stipulation in the contract as to how it can be terminated.
okay, so the board needs, okay.
So from my point of view, the other two can speak for themselves. I'm
Well,
very satisfied with Mr. Rich's work.
well, I
Commissioner
tend to,
Solomon, could we hear some from you, or do
I
you
have
not
no
wish to
problem.
comment right now?
I have no problem with Cybertron's contract as it stands.
Okay, thank you.
well, I tend to disagree. That's all.
Okay.
Because the whole RFP went wrong, and everything went wrong April 4th when we had the companies here, when the IT committee has to make a recommendation. Mr. Rich already had his contract ready, and it was that same day signed. I think the whole thing went wrong.
Since the majority of the Board of Commissioners signed the contract, it's been approved. End of conversation regarding the contract, unless two of us decide that we need to renegotiate or terminate or whatever.
But
And
I
that's-
can still ask questions. That's my job.
For how long?
Mr. Rich.
Mr. Chairman, if I may respond to a comment that Commissioner Kenny just said about my having the contract prepared and signed immediately. Actually, due to concerns that you brought up yourself about the termination clause and all that, I
Mhm.
did not have the contract with me all prepared in its final form. In fact, I was able to contact my office, and by electronic communication, we were able to make those changes quickly and get them over here. I am an IT firm. It's quite simple for someone who does what I do.
Mhm. Okay. Okay, last call for any public comments. Hearing none. Jason, are you here to talk about the jail or for non-public?
I was directed to come over here at 10 o'clock, so I
Okay,
Okay, I have something to bring
Okay.
up. Can we talk now?
yep.
It came to my attention that somebody from the public filed a 91A, and I think it was about a contract from the jail investigation. Right. And I believe she got a copy of that contract. But with that copy, what I get from the office emailed me actually what they give to the person. There was also an email from me. And the email, what she gave from me, was attorney-client privilege. We cannot give out attorney-client privilege email. That's a violation right there.
Excuse me, I'm rather confused as to what you're talking about.
Yeah, you give it a
There
little more
was-
detail?
There was someone from the public filed a 91A about
For what?
the nursing home investigation, the contract.
Someone from the public filed that. Do you
Yeah.
have a name?
Point of order, Mr. Chairman? I believe Commissioner Kenny just said in her first statement it was about the jail. Is it about the
Yeah.
jail or
No,
the nursing
about the
home?
nursing home.
Nursing home, okay.
Yeah, somebody filed a 91A
Who is this
about the
somebody?
nursing home
If somebody
contract.
filed a 91A, who is the somebody?
Yeah, I haven't seen it.
It was an employee from the nursing home,
Does she have a name?
Mrs. Woodburn.
Ah.
She filed a 91A. She wanted to see the contract
What
from,
kind?
I think, the investigation, the contract what was signed. And the office sent an email to me, what they sent to her, and you said you don't know about it? Because in the email I read that the attorney said Commissioner Shorterson asked for it, and this is what you get, this is what his request. So you know about it, you requested it, because they asked it actually in the office in, where is she from, Concord? And so she emailed back, and that was given to the member of the public or employee, whatever you want to call him. But they gave her also an email from me. It was another email. I got another email from the office said we gave her also an email from you, what you sent to the attorney. The email was sent from me to Liz Bailey, and it was attorney-client privilege. So I wonder, why would my email get out? It should never been getting out. You cannot give people whatever they ask. Mrs. Woodburn can ask whatever she wants, but if it is confidential and it's attorney-client privilege, she can't get it. She can ask every week for it.
I did receive that email. It was an email from Ms. Woodburn regarding a contract, and that particular contract was signed by two of us. And then Kathy Geary sent out the email saying that you had also signed it. I believe that's what you're talking about, correct?
No, I didn't sign anything. It was signed by you. Then she I don't know who she asked, how she get my email. But she got an
she?
email what attorney, the office.
Who's
But-
she?
The office,
Kathy Geary?
yeah. And she got email, but my email, what she give to the public, is attorney-client privilege. And I think they've been asking you first.
I
what
believe
needs
in
to
the
be- What
email.
needs to be sent out.
I
But-
believe in the email, it was a case that you had also agreed with the contract.
Listen, if I sent an email, attorney-client privilege, and it is there in the email to Liz Bailey, what I'm talking with her about, we can't release that. That's non-public information. That's attorney-client. It doesn't fall on the disclosure of the 91A. It's
Okay.
attorney-client. So we have this over and over again. I'm not sending any email to any attorney anymore, because this is what we're getting. Everything is going to the public. So I'm not talking to any attorney through email.
Okay? Yeah, go ahead, Melissa.
Sometimes, I need to take a deciphering class or something to try to read between the lines. I'm so confused.
I have no idea.
So, attorney was hired to investigate the Barbara Woodburn
Yes.
harassment complaint.
Correct.
Commissioner Solomon and Sorensen signed it.
Right.
Commissioner Kenny did not? Is that,
All I know is the email that I received was that she had agreed to the attorney being hired.
Okay, so I imagine if someone got a copy of the contract and they saw that only 2 commissioners had signed it, and then
Right.
later there was a letter saying the third one agreed to it.
Right.
It would be like an addendum signature.
Right.
Is that
I think
close to
that's-
where we are?
That's my interpretation.
Okay, thank you.
I sent information to Liz Bailey, and the subject clearly said attorney-client privilege that cannot release to the public.
Shouldn't the
So-
public,
The
but
question-
shouldn't the public know whether or not she agreed with the
The question,
contract? I don't,
I'm
From-
talking
from-
about the document, my email that was released, that shouldn't have been released. That is what I'm talking about.
okay, the question I would have,
Attorney-client privilege.
did you agree to hiring the attorney to investigate Robert Woodburn?
I agree that the attorney come for the investigation because she filed grievance against the commissioners and happenings in a nursing home. I agree that she do the investigation only if it is in the commissioners, she investigated commissioners and the happenings in the nursing home. That is what I agreed
So
to.
you did agree then?
You agreed.
okay,
Okay.
thank you.
If it is against, and were the commissioners ever being investigated?
You agreed.
Were the commissioners being investigated? I didn't get that part. Are we getting a separate bill, or how does that work?
I actually haven't seen the bill. I heard that it was coming.
No, the bill was there.
You
You
have seen,
said-
you have seen the bill?
You said last week at a meeting that the estimate was 29,800.
That's
I
correct.
went to look back.
That's correct.
It went to look back. Numbers needs to be made out to the public. It said it was $41,000. Discount 29,500 or 800, and it said total bill due now. So what you said last week, it was an estimate. It was not an estimate. That is the actual bill. The investigation is done. It's over with. How is somebody going to send an estimate after everything is done? You send estimate out when you start something. It is done, it is over, she wants to get paid. She doesn't send an estimate, she just sent the bill. It said total due now.
Let me correct it. Each commissioner received a letter from Liz Bailey saying that the attorney doing the Woodburn investigation, she has seen the bill, and she said that it was $29,800. I have not seen a bill to be paid other than that email that was sent by Liz Bailey. Have you seen a bill?
That is the bill.
The bill can't come to us.
Yeah,
Has to go
that
to
is the bill, because what Liz Bailey said, that she had to send the bill straight to us, but she sent it straight to Bailey, so Bailey just forwarded to us. But it said total due now,
Okay.
that's the bill.
Then we'll pay the bill.
Then we have to ask the company to send it straight then to the commissioner. Maybe it already came in, I don't know, because usually most of the things
I
get
have not seen
hidden
it.
from me and I don't know about it. So I don't
You got
know
anything else to add?
if it already came in. The Perry investigation, are the commissioners being investigated?
No.
So, and why are the commissioners not being investigated? That is a grievance file, that certain policies and laws are violated. Why are the commissioners not being investigated?
We are going to investigate the Pearlie case, and we're going to talk about that. We should have talked about it
My
about
question is.
3/4 of an hour ago.
My question is, there is a grievance filed, 2 grievances against the 2 commissioners. So the commissioners are not being investigated, and why not?
Because we haven't got the investigation completed yet,
You just, what do
okay?
you mean, the Barbara Woodburn investigation is
No, I'm
completed?
talking about the Perry investigation. We're going
The
to talk,
Barbara Woodburn, are the commissioners being investigated in that one?
no,
No. And the Perry investigations, are the commissioners going to be investigated?
we don't know. We haven't had the investigation yet. It's not completed. Okay, at this time, we're going to go into non-public.
No, I have,
You got more?
I have,
Okay,
yeah,
go-
something to say.
Go ahead.
Um, I got an email from you, I believe it was yesterday, about that you find somebody, a retired person, wanted to do the investigation,
Correct.
and he was coming. I think I have no object that he is doing the investigation, because I think it is a retired trooper, what I heard. So I think he has experience. But my concern is about the cost. We have 2 grievances filed, 2 attorneys. The legal fee is, it's out of order now. And I'm thinking we just hired Janice Sullivan, who has a good legal background, who is an attorney. And I questioned her when we had an interview. Is she doing investigations? She said she did many, many investigations. She has a background in employment law. So I was thinking, is it not a possibility that she can maybe look into the Perry deal what we have in a jail, only for the standpoint that I don't actually want to spend any more penny, because the cost what we have now, it's ridiculous. The nursing home bill, the investigation is $30,000. On the top of that, we're going to have Liz Bailey. We don't know how much she's going to charge on the top of that. So that bill is not even complete, so she will probably file a separate bill. So that is my only concern, that I think maybe we should ask Janice Sullivan. We just hired her, and I don't think there will be any cost if she look into it.
So, what you're saying then is that you are amenable to having Janice Sullivan do this investigation, rather than, you don't even want to talk to this gentleman regarding his, you were the one actually.
I didn't say
May
I
I finish
wanna
what I'm
talk.
saying?
Okay.
You were the one who said that you wanted to have a law enforcement person do the investigation.
Outside the
An
county.
outside law enforcement person doing the investigation. Commissioner Sorensen looked into this, found someone that met your qualifications, and now, gentleman is here, but you want to not even bother with that, and that's fine with, that's fine with me, that's your decision, and you would rather have our new person, Janice Sullivan, do this investigation. Have I got that correct?
I make a recommendation because at the time we had nobody that a law enforcement can do that maybe we should look in an independent investigation. That is correct. At the time I had no knowledge. I didn't know we're going to have an attorney hiring that we have here. And at this point she's hired, we have an attorney.
That's fine.
And I'm looking at the cost.
Fine.
And I think it is fine. I think he will do a great job. And I never said I don't want to talk to him. We can look at everything. We can look at both of them and talk to them. I'm just going out about the cost standpoint of the taxpayers.
Absolutely.
We spend enough on
Absolutely.
legal fees for 2 grievances.
You're quite correct. So, what are we going to do then? So we cannot, under those conditions, are we going to interview this gentleman, or are we going to vote at this point to hire, to not hire someone and use the in-house person? What is your pleasure?
I brought it up to the board, so let me know what you want to do.
No, you brought it up. I'm asking you what you
Yeah.
want to do.
That is what I said. I think from a cost standpoint, and because she has the background, she is an attorney, I
understand.
think that
I
maybe
do understand
we
that.
need to look into it. If she can look into that Perry deal, what is going on
She
in
can
the
do
jail.
that. No, she can do that. Now what do we do?
She won't be on the job until the 4th of September.
Then she start the 4th of
No.
September with looking into it.
No.
No,
She's got a full-time job right now.
No, she asked, can she
Oh.
start the 4th?
Can she start the 4th?
She said she's not
I
on
don't
the
know.
job, so maybe she can look in it in the 4th.
Okay.
Do you want that we talk first to both and see what the best thing is to come up with? Let's talk to Janice and see if she feel comfortable. Maybe she can look into it or start to do some preparation up front.
So you want to postpone it, in other words? Postpone
No,
this?
we talking to both.
That's postponing it.
No, we're going to talk to them.
Well, I don't, okay.
Okay,
So what do you have, Commissioner Solomon? What is your suggestion?
I'm
What-
just asking you, do you want to we're then postponing this investigation until such time as we speak to both people and make, is that what you want? To postpone this investigation until such time as we can interview both of these people as to whether or not they can do the job?
Commissioner Sorensen said she starts at September 4th. That's why I said, let you start doing the investigation then September 4th. You know, I think from a cost standpoint, I like that Janice Sullivan is doing it. If the board
Excellent.
disagree, that's fine. I just
Excellent.
bring it up because of a cost. I'm
I-
looking
I-
out for the taxpayers, and I think the cost of the legal fees of 2 grievances, it is too high.
Okay.
And we
I don't-
have, I think that Janice Sullivan, with her background, I think she
So-
can do also a good job. I think both can do a good job. But do we have the money now in the legal line to pay again somebody else after we have this big bill is not even paid, and we're going to get Bailey on the top of that? What is going to be, I don't know how much he's going to charge on the top of that. So where are we going to get all this money out, and which line?
first of all, we don't know what the investigation is going to cost. I don't think anybody can put a figure to it. Secondly, it was recommended that we go outside the county for this investigation. I had talked with Mr. Perry, and he had approved of the individual that we are going to talk with doing the investigation. Now, I want you to keep in mind that we have in the HR office a person who is related to someone in the jail. I think it would shade the investigation if we had the new hire HR person doing the investigation. I think it would just cause for somebody to question whether it was above board or not because of the individual being in the HR department. And you know who I'm talking about. One of the witnesses, there is a relationship between the assistant HR person and one of the witnesses. Being in the same department, I think it would look upon us as to have a unbiased investigation. What it's going to cost, I don't know.
But the assistant is not going to do the investigation.
No.
It's the HR director.
No, but she is in the same department.
Yeah, but she is not going to do the investigation. She will be excluded. She has nothing to do with it.
You heard what I said.
I heard you, but I
Okay.
think she's excluded. She has nothing to do with it. We have, the new one would be unbiased. She's new.
Okay,
Oh,
yeah.
well,
We have no other further public.
Oh, I do have a couple of things.
You have a
No,
report?
just a couple of things. No, I haven't a report, but just a couple of things that I think we need to cover before we close the public meeting. Number one is, how about the minutes of the 15th? That's last week. Can we get that
We have
done?
minutes last
yeah.
week?
The last week minutes, I see there is a statement left out when Commissioner Kenny said, let me see, about the Perry deal. You said you were looking, Commissioner Sorensen was saying he was looking for somebody to do the Perry investigation. And I said, do you acknowledge that the letter from Belknap County was not a real investigation? That sentence is not there.
Yes,
so-
it is.
Did you put it in now?
It certainly is.
Oh, okay. Okay, well, that is probably not correct. Well, I just want to have that in, that's all.
It's in.
So I make a motion to approve the public minutes of August 15 as corrected.
Okay.
You have corrections?
Yeah, but they're merely understanding corrections, grammatical corrections.
I'll second the motion with some grammatical changes that are made. Any further discussion on last week's minutes? All those in support of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those that opposed to the motion say nay. I assume you voted in support of it?
Yeah.
Okay, then motion passes. Do we have any other minutes we want?
No, I don't have
Okay.
any other minutes, but I
Go
do
ahead.
have one other thing, so that the public is aware, there is a subcommittee meeting for the jail, the House of Corrections, on August 28th at 9 a.m. at the House of Corrections. I take it this is an open meeting?
Yes, did they say did Laurie put in at the jail?
Yes,
Usually we hold them up here.
yes, it says at
There's a
the,
conflict.
at the House of Corrections
There is
building.
There's a
conflict?
conflict here, there's a
Okay.
meeting going on here.
And for those interested in attending, it has to do with phones, with the phone service.
Do you have anything else to add?
No, that's it.
Do you
You have
wanna-
anything
you
else?
wanna make- you wanna do
What is
anything
that?
about this?
Oh, yeah. Got a letter. It was sent to Betsy Patton, chairman of the delegation. It's from Sue Collins, a county administrator up in Coos County. And it pertains to a subcommittee of the jail. I'm not sure whether you have received this or not, Mr. Babson. Well, let me read it. It has come to Coos County's attention that some members of the Carroll County delegation have had conversations with a few members of the Coos County delegation relative to the possibility of the Carroll County Department of Corrections becoming a receiving holding facility for Coos County's pretrial and sentenced inmates. Additionally, a YouTube video dated July 9th, 2012 includes a discussion on that topic between your delegation's Corrections Subcommittee and Superintendent Jason Johnson. Last week, Coos County Superintendent Craig Hamlin discussed these conversations and discussed with both the Coos County Commissioners at their regular meeting on August 8th and with the Coos County delegation members at their quarterly meeting on August 10th. Both parties voted unanimously to inform the Carroll County delegation that Coos County is not considering an arrangement with any New Hampshire county relative to the incarceration of male inmates. Coos County does board its female inmates in other counties. From time to time, the Carroll County Department of Corrections has held female inmates for us. We remain totally appreciative of those past courtesies. Sincerely, Susan Collins. It went to the Coos County Commissioners, Coos County Delegation, Carroll County Commissioners, Coos County Superintendent, and Carroll County Superintendent Jason Johnson. It came out of your subcommittee, Mr. Babson.
I stand corrected. If I didn't get that, I got one very close, very similar to it.
Okay.
Saying there'd been no discussion. I think the discussion comes from one representative who claims to have spoken or has spoken with several members of the Coos delegation, and that's all I know about.
Okay. Well, it's between the delegations. Carroll County delegation, Coos County delegation. They apparently are informing us that they have voted unanimously not to house their male inmates pre-trial here with Carroll County. Have no intentions of doing that. Okay, what I'd like to do is go into non-public session for purposes of contract, investigation, and we were supposed to start that at 10 o'clock. We're now at 4 minutes to 11. We have another public session starting at 11 o'clock.
Non-public.
Non-public, I'm sorry, regarding the investigation dealing with Ms. Woodburn. So with that said, I would make a motion to that effect,
Point of order,
that we go
Mr.
into
Chairman?
non-public. Yes.
You're not going to take public input at the end of this meeting?
You got some other,
There was already public input.
Two very quick.
go ahead.
Number one, I think hiring Janice as the investigator of this case, as Commissioner Kenny, I think it's tainted right from the start because she worked for the county. And the other thing is, over in Effingham last night, that one of the selectmen's a lawyer, and when I said that one of my platforms will be to include public comment back in the minutes, they were quite surprised to find out they weren't, and they made some kind of a comment that they thought under the law they had to be there. I don't know the answer to that.
No, they don't have to be. We don't have to have a public input before or after, as far as that goes.
I would like to point out that in previous to 2009, I don't think there was any public even noticed in the minutes, let alone their statements.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, we've tried to open it up to the public as much as possible. We have certain members that attend this meeting all the time. They have the privilege of public input coming into us. We'd like to see more people attend our meeting. In some cases, our meetings are very boring because we continue to go over things until we bury it, I guess. With that said, I'd like to make a motion, we go into non-public
And what was, again, what did you say, contracts?
for contract and investigation reports.
Seconded.
All those in support of the motion say aye. Aye.
Aye.
So voted unanimously.
Commissioner Kenny, yes. Commissioner Solomon?
Yes.
Commissioner Sorensen?
Yes.